Welcome to another edition of the CS Podcast, where you can hear interviews with special guests such as
Dale Buchanan, Tom Waddle, Pierre Desir, Brent Berry, Ed Werder,
and many others.
Too big, too strong, too fast, too good.
So be sure to subscribe and tune in to the CS Podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/ChristianRE722.
Did you not get the memo?
That's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722 for great interviews. Be sure to check out the CS Podcast.
You are ridiculous.
Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Shanafel, and I'm now joined by someone who I would say is probably one of the more underrated guys entering the 2015 NFL Draft. All-American offensive lineman out of Sacred Heart University, Jaime Martinez. I appreciate you taking some time to chat today. Jimmy, how's everything going?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, the pleasure's all mine, Jimmy. So let's go ahead and get right to it. I know you're from New York, and coming out of high school, you're named to the All-Brooklyn First Team. You're the school MVP, and went on to play in a few All-Star games. My first question for you is a pretty simple one, and that is, coming out of high school, why did you decide to attend Sacred Heart University and play football for the Pioneers?
Well, when I visited Sacred Heart, I felt like it was an extension of my own family. I felt at home, and also I had one of my teammates who I played in high school attended Sacred Heart and was playing for the team also. So, I really felt at home with them, and also they were the ones that offered me the most. So.
All right, and I know early on during your time at Sacred Heart, you guys were struggling as a team. I mean, I see you guys went 4-7 in 2010, 5-6 in 2011, then 2012, first year under head coach Mark Knopfler, you guys went 2-9, and in 2013, you guys had the type of season that really nobody expected out of you guys. The Pioneers finished 10-3, won the Northeast Conference, and made an appearance in the FCS playoffs. Can you just tell us a little bit about that season, what it was like to have that success, and what you and your team's mindset and expectations were for this past season, knowing that it'll be your final go-around at the college level?
Yeah, well, going into that season, we definitely felt like there was change in the air with, including a new offense. And a lot of guys, they wanted to change the culture of the program. And, that whole year was like a story out of a book. Everything just played out well. And then as far as expectations for this year, we didn't lose a lot of people, and we knew we had all the right players to repeat. So we felt coming into this year that anything less than a repeat was, a letdown. So.
Now, looking back at that 2013 season, a little over a year removed, were you guys surprised that you guys were able to go 10-3, win the NEC, and make an appearance in the FCS playoffs? I mean, it was just the season before when you guys went 2-9.
Yeah, definitely a surprise. We were just playing each game one by one and seeing how it went. But, I don't think any of us knew what that year would, what the outcome of that year would be. But, we just played each game and tried our best to change the culture of the program. We were successful with that.
This past season was another successful one. You mentioned it. You guys had a lot of returning seniors, and the Sacred Heart Pioneers were ranked 22nd nationally with a 9-3 record on the season, 5-1 in conference games. You guys won the NEC and made another appearance in the FCS playoffs. Jimmy, you were named to the FCS All-American team as well as the NEC All-First team. Now, looking back at your overall experience at Sacred Heart, how would you describe it?
It was a big surprise. When I first got there, I really didn't think I would be, accomplishing so much that I have. I didn't play my first year. I was a backup my second year, and then, my first year actually playing, we went 2-9. So, and then, last year, I won all conference, and then this year, my accolades. So, it was, the thing I could say is mainly like a big surprise and how everything turned out, and I'm happy for it,
I was able to catch just about every Sacred Heart game this past season, Jimmy. I think I might have missed one, maybe two, but you guys were definitely a fun and talented team to watch. Sacred Heart has a lot of seniors leaving in hopes of playing in the NFL, like yourself. Another guy is running back Kashada Spence, who went on to be the all-time leading rusher in Sacred Heart history. Can you just tell us what it was like to block for Spence? I mean, the guy was just a beast, probably one of the stronger running backs entering this year's draft. Would you agree?
Oh, definitely. he makes us right, and his strength and power is unbelievable. There'll be plays where he should be tackled in the backfield or right on the spot, and he breaks tackles and keeps, turning his legs, breaking these tackles and gaining the yards. And something that our coach always says is, it hits in the side and fall forward for a couple more yards, and, he definitely lives by that.
Mm-hmm. Now, Jimmy, I know that entering this past season, your senior year, your final year at Sacred Heart, you haven't allowed a sack. Does that still hold up? I mean, did you finish your Sacred Heart Pioneer career without allowing any sacks?
Yeah, I believe I have. I mean, from what I can remember, I haven't given up a sack, and that's, something that I hold, up there as an accomplishment.
Absolutely. It's definitely a huge one. Once again, Chris Schanfeld talking with 2015 NFL draft prospect Jaime Martinez, offensive lineman out of Sacred Heart. And, Jimmy, I've come to realize that there really isn't a huge drop-off from the FBS level to the FCS level. The NEC is certainly putting out a bunch of talent. Over the last 4 years, who would you say is the best or most impressive player that you've had to play against? I mean, does anybody specific stick out?
Yeah, actually, there's two of them that I think is a tie. That I've personally faced against. One of them would be Jeff Kovitz from Bryant, and then the other one I played this year was the DN for Delaware, Derek Slowberry. I think both of them were really good and were probably the toughest people I faced.
All right, and obviously these last 2 seasons specifically, you guys have had a ton of success. What would you say is the biggest or most memorable play that you've been a part of or made throughout your entire college football career?
The biggest play that's the most memorable for me would probably be, this year the play we ran to score the winning touchdown against Bryant for the championship. The big pass play, we passed the tank and gave RJ, our quarterback, enough time, and, he had Dewey for the touchdown, and, just to go ahead and so late in the game was like, we got a chance, and we just got to keep this up. So I think that's the most memorable, play for me.
And I believe, it seems like that you guys have a little rivalry going on between Sacred Heart and Bryant. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe throughout your time at Sacred Heart, you've played both guard and tackle at one point or another. Can you just tell us what the biggest difference is between playing the two positions?
I mean, with tackle, you have a lot more space, and I feel like your responsibility is the man on top of you or outside of you. And as far as in guard, I feel like you have more responsibilities as far as, blocking gaps and pulling and stuff. So, I mean, both positions were really fun for me. I mean, I miss pulling a tackle, but, I love playing tackle as well. They were both, equally fun.
Well, we hear so much about how offensive linemen have to have that mean streak in them. They have to be nasty. Is that true? And, what do you feel is your biggest strength as an offensive lineman?
I feel like it helps being nasty. I mean, that wasn't really the type of player I was. I was more, I got the job done, and to me, I was happy with that as long as I did my job and, made the play successful. But, I feel like my biggest strength is, my playing, my smarts on the field, and just my ability to play. I mean, I can move pretty well, and I've been overall very good at my position. So,
is there an offensive lineman that's currently playing in the NFL that you might compare your game to?
There's a lot. I feel like they're such a high level, but the one person I always think of is maybe Manny Ramirez for the Broncos. He always, he gets the job done, and he's always successful getting up to second level and stuff like that. So that person comes to mind.
Chris Schanfeld talking with 2015 NFL draft prospect offensive lineman Jaime Martinez out of Sacred Heart here on the CS podcast. And Jimmy, just a few more questions before I let you go. I really do appreciate your time. Now, let's say there's an NFL general manager listening to this very interview. Why should he want you a part of his team?
I'm a hard worker. I could do my job, and I know if given the opportunity, I could, perform and make an impact on any team.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, 5 years at Sacred Heart, one of them being a redshirt year. Has it sunk in yet that you've played in your final college football game and that the next time you play will be in the pros?
I mean, now that I see all the rest of the teammates playing, going to practice and stuff, like they're really kicking in, and man, that's it. I'm done with college. But, I mean, I'm excited for the next step in my journey. But yeah, it's at first after my last game, I wasn't ready to give it up. But I think with time, you get over it.
And what would you say is your favorite memory being at Sacred Heart? I mean, it doesn't even have to be football related.
My favorite memory? I think it has to be winning at Robert Morris for the championship of last year. After so many years of having losing records or not being successful, I think that's the best moment I could take away, because I was a part of so many seasons where it didn't go our way, and then for that year to win it all was really special. And it was the first time I ever won something so big as a collegiate championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a huge turnaround for you guys. Now, Jimmy, as we know, the draft is just over 2 months away. It's actually going to be here in Chicago for the first time. What's next for you? I mean, are you training anywhere? Are you participating in any NFL regional combines? Do you have any idea when your pro day will be? Can you just tell us a little bit about, where you're at as of right now?
Right now, I'm training close to almost every day. And I'm working on all the aspects of the pro days and stuff. As far as regional combines, I'm not going to participate, but I will be partaking in a couple of pro days. Will be coming up in March.
All right.
Towards the second half of March.
All right, and is there any specific numbers that you want to hit?
Yeah, definitely for bench, get up to 30 plus, get 40 times under 5'2". Things like that would be, amazing, perform as well as I can.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Jimmy, that's all I have for you, man. I really do appreciate your time. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Definitely wishing you nothing but the best throughout this process. Do you have anything else for us before I let you go?
No, that's it. Thank you for having me, and it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely, man. The pleasure was all mine. Once again, best of luck. Thanks again, and take care, all right?
All right, likewise. Take care.